610.com.
Hall of Famer, just a great dude, great friend of us, all of us, and of the show as well. Hall of Fame columnist John McClain on Tuesdays. John, I know that there's these flare-ups and there's always these trends about this or that, but this roughing the passer, I saw where the NFL said they'll look into it or whatever. There's nothing to them more important than fan reaction or how they feel, and I know money, but what's going on here with the Brady play and then last night with Carr?
Well, first of all, it is ingrained in the officials, protect the quarterbacks. If you're going to make a mistake, make it on the side of the quarterback. Nobody wants to see Skylar Thompson playing quarterback. And nothing's going to happen. The only thing's ever going to change it because it's so subjected to some people. And the one Chris Jones had where the official told the pool reporter came down on his weight. Number one, he had the ball in his hand. Number two, he put his left arm down to cushion it. And for whatever reason, the official's never going to admit they're wrong. What'll probably happen is the NFL will send things to both coaches and say they screwed up, shouldn't have been called, and there's no recourse, of course. You know, if it's your quarterback, you're happy about it. But it's ridiculous. It's like pulling Teddy Bridgewater after one play because the spotter fell asleep and dreamed that he got in, and that cost them the game. It's just ridiculous.
John, do you ever think that there will be that sky judge who will just call down and be like, no, pick it up? And
Should
move
be.
on?
They've been advocating that for years, and he has sitting there in front of a big flat screen TV like we are at home, and he can look at it. That's better than going to New York, and he can just say into the referee's earpiece, pick up that flag. That makes perfect sense. Now, the other thing is, Bill Belichick has advocated for years to the competition committee, which recommends rules changes to the owners before their spring meetings in March, that coaches be able to challenge anything. People say, oh, my God, the game would go forever. No, you have the same number of challenges. You just are able to challenge different things. And if you see an egregious roughing the passer call, you know, you want to challenge it. You get it right, great. If you don't, it costs you a timeout. That we're getting more and more of that about plays that can be challenged. It's almost like pulling teeth before the owners will agree to it. I don't know why they will not let them challenge anything they want.
John, the Texans win for the first time this season against Jacksonville, 13-6. Your thoughts on Houston getting their first W? I know they've been close, and obviously Jacksonville's not the best team, but hey, you take it where you can get it. What'd you think of the Texans getting their first W?
Jacksonville was 7-point favorite, and the Texans beat them by 7. Last year, Jaguars were favored 6.5 and 5. Texans blew them out both times. Texans have beaten them 9 times in a row and 15 out of 17. The last time the Texans and Jaguars split their AFC South series, 2010, when John Weeks from Baylor was a rookie snapper on the team. Now he's a 13-year veteran. So, you know, it was a good defensive game. Jalen Petrie played well. He's missed some tackles, but he's playing well. Derek Stingley had his best game. Damian Pierce, people didn't see his run for 20 yards on a touchdown drive in which he broke 7 tackles. It was an Earl Campbell type run. I said it was the greatest run in Texans history because of how many tackles he broke. And it was the kind of thing Earl Campbell did all the time. And that kid's quickly becoming the most popular player on this franchise. And Texans were in every single game. It's amazing. They could be 5-0. Now, they shouldn't be because they're a bad team, but they've been in the fourth quarter of every game with a chance to win. And instead of making plays to lose, they finally made plays to win.
I don't think they win without the overall 27 yards of total offense from Rex Burkhead.
Yeah, Rex Burkhead, I as I call him, Rex Bleeping Burkhead.
You do.
And he has scored a touchdown and made 4 first downs the last 2 weeks, but he should be a third down back who catches short passes. Every time he's in a game, they throw the ball. He shouldn't touch it. They need a backup running back to take 5 or 6 carries a game.
Yeah.
We had a news conference today with the general manager, Nick Casario, and I asked him about that. And they got 2 other backs that he brought up, Royce Freeman and Dari Mumbawali. They run better than Burkhead. This fascination with Burkhead coming off the bench, it's just like he's got pictures of offensive coordinator Pep Hamilton because he's the one that determines who plays and what the play is. And I'm not impressed with Pep Hamilton's play calling at all. Davis Mills is nothing like he was at the end of last year, even though he's got a running game, and they don't let him throw the ball down the field. It's just I think he's doing a bad job.
When he was in New England, his best years, when he had 3 or 4 carries a game, 2 or 3 catches a game.
Burkhead?
Yeah. All right.
John, what will Matt Rhule have to do to get back in the NFL? Does he have to have a Pete Carroll-like college renaissance?
He'll never get back in the NFL. You know, people always talked about Matt being an NFL coach. He only coached 1 year in the NFL. And it's pretty, you guys know him very well. His personality, his style is more suited to college. He can have any job in the country he wants. He can sit out a year if he wants. And I was asked on a couple of my shows today if I thought he took a job now, what would it be? And I said, well, he comes from the Big Ten. Obviously, if something happened to James Franklin, he'd want to go to Penn State. And Wisconsin has built-in recruiting advantages. They get good every year. And I could see him going there, but it's not a total rebuild like he's used to. Somebody said, what about Auburn? I said, if I'm a head coach, I don't know if I want to get involved with the SEC. And somebody said, well, what if Oklahoma mixed Venables one and done? I said, well, they're going to be in the SEC. Arizona State can't keep recruits in the state. They all go to California schools or Utah. So there's a lot of opportunities. But if I'm just looking around and one I think would be good for him, it would be Wisconsin because they're usually really good.
John McClain with us, again, with GallerySports.com and part of 610 in Houston. Writes very, very well along the way. Your thoughts?
By the way, David, hang on a minute.
Yep.
I bet you are pumped up about that big must-see TV game Thursday night between the Bears and the Commanders on Amazon.
You know, you can't flex a Thursday night game. But don't you know they wish they could? Is it because the games are bad or because anything on Thursday most of the time is just so quickly after a game and it's just not going to be good football?
Well, if you're taking these teams and you got Carson Wentz and Justin Fields, we thought with Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan, we would have a lot of offense, and they were awful. And it's too bad you can't flex out at like halftime because they would have flexed that game out Thursday at halftime. Then I look at the Commanders and the Bears. Okay, going into the season, nobody expected anything from Washington. Nobody expected anything from the Bears. So why the hell did they put them on? The Texans are on one time. It's on Thursday night, but it's against the best team in the NFL and the Eagles. So if you got a bad team, put them on with a good team. Don't do it like this. I don't know who made that schedule, but if I'm Jeff Bezos, I say I want some kind of a piece of my $1 billion back for putting on this dog poop 2 weeks in a row.
Well, John, speaking of a big matchup that would be much better served for Jeff Bezos and those Amazon broadcasts, that is what we will see on Sunday night. So your thoughts heading into what should be a terrific little clash, Dallas and Philadelphia, given how those two teams have started?
I think it's going to be great. Cowboys swept them last year. Eagles want revenge. Eagles got it on both sides of the ball. They can run the ball. Jalen Hurts is playing very well. Cowboys can run the ball. It should be clear to people now. Pollard's a better back than Zeke, and their defense is great. You know, that stat about first time they've limited opponents to fewer than 25 in a row since 72. Hell, I was a freshman at MCC when they did that. And I love it. I think it's going to be old-fashioned NFC East football. I'm still not buying into the Giants. I watched their game against the Packers, but they got a lot of injuries, and they don't have good quarterback play from Daniel Jones, even though he plays hard. I think it's going to be Cowboys and the Eagles, and I can't wait for this one. And as I tell everybody, Kellen Moore is the unsung hero because he calls the plays, and he has done everything that he can as a play caller to help Cooper Rush look good. And until Dak comes back and is 100%, just let Rush play. And if Dak comes back, plays dead for a couple of games, then they got a quarterback controversy.
If Cooper Rush, and if this was the offseason, what would be the interest in him for teams that, again, he is who he is, but what would be the interest? How much value would he have in the open market?
About like Jimmy Garoppolo,
okay,
which is a second tier down. People see Cowboys' defense is playing great. The running game is good. Coaches have done a tremendous job with the offensive line after Tyron Smith went down, and they're just doing really well overall. And, you know, what if they keep winning and the fans get Mike McCarthy for another season and Sean Payton goes somewhere else, like maybe Denver, with all of that Walmart money after Nathaniel Hackett's a one and done?
Yeah, I didn't think about the Walmart money there in Denver. John, the Astros, by the way, 7-5, bottom of the eighth. Plenty of time, John. Plenty of time.
No, I hope you're right, Paul, because I'm feeling really bad as they've been. Justin Verlander was pathetic.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate your time,
Thank
John.
you, guys. Take them.
That's John McClain, GallerySports.com, and also Houston 610, and a part of numerous segments with a lot of places, but us here, right here in Central Texas, most every single Tuesday. This is